Why did you write this book?
The Christian Abuser was the result of nearly 50 years of counseling with leaders in fundamentalist movement, pastors, assistant pastors, Christian school workers, in which women felt that their husbands were using part of a scripture in Ephesians chapter 5, the husband is the head of the wife, and using only that portion of the scripture and justifying having an abusive attitude toward the wife and saying it's the will of God because after all I'm the head of the home. So I wanted to attack that problem and try to encourage women who were facing it to deal with it properly.
What are the sources for the stories in the book?
The stories that are in The Christian Abuser are actual case histories of over 3,000 counseling sessions that I've had over a half century. And what I do is I take the individual case and then I use the biblical principle that's involved and I try to apply the biblical principle to the individual situation and show how those who were undergoing counseling were actually benefited by following the Bible, while those who didn't follow the Bible remained in the same problem. So they're all case histories is where they come from.
What has been the response to the book?
The response has been very good. There's an international leader by the name of Patricia Evans who is now recommending my book to anybody who comes to her who comes from a religious background, because that's not her specialty. She deals with other issues, but we're both involved in trying to prevent abuse. So we've been getting a lot of response. The book is offered on Amazon. The book is offered on Barnes & Noble. The book is also offered on Apple eBooks. And right now, there are 2 colleges that are considering using the book as a textbook for a course in abuse in the Christian community.
Have people been helped by this book?
I have recently received 3 emails from women who have purchased the book, and people with whom I have no other contact, and they've indicated that they read the book and it gave them clear direction on how to approach their husbands to try to deal with the abuse issue. A couple of people have actually started coming to me for counseling because they saw the book on Amazon, purchased it, and were helped by what they read. So there's at least that response. What other responses or helps might have occurred, I'm not sure of, but I do know that some colleges feel that it would be helpful as a textbook.
To whom would you recommend this book?
Well, first of all, I'd recommend it to women who feel they are in an abusive relationship and in an evangelical community. Secondly, I would recommend it to people who have friends who have shared with them confidentially that they might be suffering abuse. And then thirdly, I would recommend it to every pastor who wants to be able to counsel people in his church, because the way the program is presented in The Christian Abuser is to allow a pastor to see what's happening and also to develop skills that will help that pastor to face some of the issues he may be facing with abused women in his church.
Can the book be ordered directly from you?
Yes, it can be, and if a person desires an autographed copy, doesn't want to get it from Amazon, Barnes & Noble, or Apple Books, the person can simply make out a check for $20 to me, Guy Goodell, Guygoodell, mail it to the Greater Glens Falls Bible Baptist Church, West and Feeder Streets, Hudson Falls, New York, 12839, and I'll make sure that you get an autographed copy if you desire to have one.